Hey guys, welcome to Coding with Fun. And today I'm starting a new streaming series where I'll be working on a real world project called Shopping Manager. I'm creating this application for a local store. They want a solution for the so basically they have multiple stores and they want a solution where they can keep track of all the products they want to buy. Uh, right now they are just using a paper where they have list of products and is call each store and ask all the products they like how many products are there, and then the store owner decides that how much the product they want to buy. So right now like from this video series I will be working on this project as a solution for them. It They won't be saving any sensitive data in this application, so that's why I'm streaming the backend and front end as well. And yep, that's all. So I will just start working on this. Just a sec. I'm still figuring out this OBS. I'm still pretty new with this. Okay. So here is some basic requirements that they want. It's should be able to manage shopping list for product in multiple stores. As I mentioned before, they also want to easily add or remove new products. So yeah, so that's the main thing they have asked, because it's not they don't have a perfect list of products. They just usually add or or add or remove different products from the inventory. Another thing they have asked that only admin can create accounts. So basically, for example, I can disclose all the information, but for example, if they have two stores, then they can just create then the admin can create two accounts for those stores, so that the store manager can just log in and add the products quantity. The admin also want a easy view to list for shopping. So basically, if they are going to shop products, they can just see the list of products like a product, and then how many products are there in different stores, so that owner can easily decide. It's an internal website, so it isn't like the user will be seeing this website on their end. So a responsive design is not that important, but it is important. They want a decent design, so that if they are using on the mobile phone, they can easily navigate through different pages. And yeah, so they can easily edit shopping quantities. So for now the idea is using something like a concept from Trello, which basically when you click on the tags, it converts into the input box. So that's what I'm planning to do. I will make it a bit keyboard friendly. So for example, they are writing quantity for one product and they press tab, it will jump to the next one. So that's what I'm planning to do. And can filter pro yeah, and this is the last one. So they want a good amount of filters, so that for example, if they are going to they are out for shopping, it won't be like they won't be buy every products from one store. There are a few products that they will buy from Walmart. So basically they want easy filters, so that they can filter out different products. So for example, if a product has tag Walmart, then basically it means that the store owner buys that product from Walmart, so they just wanted this filter. So it's a bit complex to implement these filters, but let's see how it goes. I will be starting with server code first. Let me just create a server folder. I will be using Express, MongoDB, and Vue.js for frontend. There isn't any specific reasons for that. It's just I'm very familiar with that, and I just wanted to give my best in this project, so that's what I'm planning to do. Let's just initiate. npm in this project. Here is my item. Okay, let's cd to server, npm init. Backend name server, I guess so. I'll just skip it all the default values for now. And we will just install Express. So let me just go to the website. Getting started. There are a few dependencies that we will import in this one. For example, I'm gonna use Morgan as well as Mongoose for connecting with MongoDB, but we will do it step by step. Let's just first start running Express server. Okay. Just import it in this file. Let's create an app. Oh. That's all. Yeah, I was right. Okay. Let's create this port variable. So if process dot environment dot port, if it has a port, so basically when we will deploy it in production, environment variables has a value called port by default, so it's 80 port. So if we are deploying it in more complex environment and we might change a port, then we don't need to make any changes right here. So that's why I'm doing this. And for current development environment, we haven't set this port variable in process, so that's why it will use 5000. And okay, it will be a wrong convention. Let me just check this. Listen, just give it the port variable, and I just cancel out the message there. So okay, sure. Okay, started application success. And HTTP. We'll just add the port variable here. So let's try running this application. Oh, I will just add few scripts so it's a bit easier. Yeah, so let's just hope it works. npm start. Oh, let me just make one small change. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, that should work. I pressed wrong. Should work. Oh yeah, because we don't have any responses for get request in that port, so let's do that. app.get in the root path, and we'll just response.json. Welcome to the API for shopping manager. Yep, it works. So we are getting this JSON format response. So that's really good. So application is working now. Let me just install Node one because I don't want to constantly restart the server, right? So the Node one is a dependency. Basically, it will start your Node server whenever you make any changes in the files. So now I'll just install that one. And it will be dev dependency because we don't really want it in the production. Sorry, not in the production, but it's something that we will be using only during the development of the application. So that's why it's so. I will just update the script. Right there. So if I make any changes in the index, let's say, yeah, it restarted service again. So that's really cool. Okay, just a sec. There are a few dependencies that we'll be using. It's one of them is model. So basically just console out different messages. It's really helpful when we will be debugging this application in the future. So let's just install this. I'll just open a new tab. Okay, looks good. I will need to import the Morgan first. What function that was? Oh, it's just a Morgan and it's developer. Okay. So it should console out a bit different messages. So let me just show you. If I will make a request, it print out that what was the request and which path it was. So that's really good. We will also use a package called .env. Oh, I spelled it incorrectly. .env. So this package lets you import variables from .env file, which we will be using pretty soon. We will be storing database passwords and all the stuff in this file, so that it's a bit secure way rather than putting it in your code. It is a bit more vulnerable. It's just a security reason that you should keep it in the .env file. Just install this one. Okay. And always make sure that this you import it at the top of your application, because if you will import this .yaml file after initializing this Express app, so it might conflict, because sometimes you need these variables when this application starts, right? So that is the main reason. Do not forget to import it at the top of your project. Just require config. That's all for now. Okay, just a sec. There were a few. Let me just open my different project that had few different other dependencies. Yeah, we will also need a course library. This. Just a sec. So let's start working with the first route called login. So we'll just start working from that. Let me just open this VS Code in server folder. It's a bit confusing with this hierarchy. Okay, just to close this one. Okay. So I just create a folder called auth, and it will have all the endpoints for auth, like for a login, for sign in. We will also create a logout path. I will just show you why we'll be creating this, because for example for this project we will be using JSON web token, and you usually don't need any logout route when you're using JWT, but I am going with a bit different concept. I will just show you when we'll start working on logout path. Let's first work with okay. We will use Express router for this one. And we will export this router. We will only accept a login route for we will just use a post method for login route, because basically a user will be posting a data, for example a username and password, and it will be a post request, it won't be a get request. So that's why I just chose post, and I just realized that we first need to go with sign up rather than login. Wait a minute, so currently only the admin will be able to create an account, right? So I think we don't need a sign up route. We just cancel that, and we will just right now we'll just respond it with just a normal message that let's have a quick stretch. We will just import this route in the index file. I usually go with a path like this, API version 1 and then auth, so there is small case. The reason behind this is if in the future they ask for a big change, so at that time we can just add that new backend with version 2, and we can just modify our front end, or if they have asked to create a new one, then we can just point that whole new front end to the version 2 API, and their old products will still work with version 1 API. So that's why I usually go with this kind of path. So that's all I think we need it for now. And as this is a post endpoint, we can't do it from browser, so we just use a tool called Postman. Okay, it opened a different window. Okay, so let's just make a request to the HTTP. How can I close this one? Okay, that's good. Login, and if we try to make a GET request, we should get a error. Cannot get it. Yeah, so it should be post. Yeah, that works. Let me just add some middlewares. Those are for example, I don't want to send HTML responses for if they don't find any routes. So that's what I'm trying to achieve right now. I do have a plan for that. It's let me just create a folder called middlewares, and we'll just create a file called errors.js. I have already used that in the past, so let me just grab it and don't want, so that we are not wasting any time. I am getting hard time to just open it. Text it should work. Yeah. So here is what I have written in the past. So basically, these are two different middlewares. I have found this middlewares from a YouTuber called Coding with Fun. Sorry, that's me. A YouTuber called Coding Out with CJ, and he has created a tool called Express Application Generator, I guess. Let me just find it. Create ExpressF. I'm getting hard. I think it's this one. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the one. He has created this CLI tool, with which you can just generate an API starter kit. I should have used this one, I guess, but I wanted to do it from scratch. And the starter kit, you can see that in this source code and middleware. Here is those arrow handlers and not found middleware. So that's where I got an idea to write it that way. Okay, so basically, first of all, we have one middleware called not found handler, and this will be used if they don't find if user has made request to a path which doesn't exist in our application, and we are basically just responsible with that requested route does not exist. And we have this arrow handler function or middleware, which will basically will be called whenever an error has been thrown from our application, and it just responds with this basic generic message. It also uses this node environment variable. So if we are running in the production, we will just set this environment variable as a production, and it because of that it won't show this error stack. So this is a bit, we are just securing it, so we are not letting anyone say that where that exactly error was occurred, because this way they can find which module we are using, or which vulnerabilities we have in our application. So that's all. Let me just create an environment example file so that we can keep track of all the environments. So it will be production tab. We also have variable called port, We usually don't need that, but yeah, let's remove it for now. Okay, and we'll just import this middleware in the index file. Just remove this. Just move this one before the auth route, and we'll just .use error handler middleware dot not found handler. So at this point, request goes through all the application. So first it will go to the base route, and if it doesn't match with that exit route, it will go to the auth router or whatever router we add at the bottom. And if application doesn't found the path that where the user has requested, the user have made request, then it will use this not found handler. Otherwise it will just use a error handler. So now when we make a wrong request, we should get a JSON response, yeah, with error code message. And although if we make a post request, we get a successful message. So that's all I needed to handle it for errors for now. So we'll just start working in the script to create a user at first. Means whenever the application runs in production. For that, we create a file called db.js. This will be used to connect to the database. So we need another variable called MongoURI. Production database URI. So basically this is a kind of a URL, a special URL, so where your application connect to your MongoDB database. That's something we will be changing in the production. So I just write this file. Also we will need a library called Mongoose to talk with our MongoDB database. It's this library is not the simplest one, but it is pretty good. I liked it. I have used it in the past and I really liked it, so that's why I usually go with this one. Am I in the wrong live chat? Okay, let me just grab that one. I didn't realize that I had the wrong live chat pop up. I have it here. Looks like we will be just setting up this database, and we will I think only be working on a script to create a admin account whenever this application goes in production. So that's what I think we will do for now. In the next stream, I will start working on routers, routes, login route and logout route. Let's call this as a TP. We also go with we will either use environment or Mongo URL, or if it doesn't exist, which is in this case, then we will just use our localhost MongoDB URL, and I will just do a shopping manager database. Yeah, so that's all we need for URI. We'll just connect it to the database. You really don't need to create this function that I'm currently writing right now. You can just directly connect to the database in this file, and then you can just import it in the index file. But I usually, for me, I like to write a code in index file a way so that I can get a glance of how it is really working. So for example, if I am initializing this database connection in the index file, then when I'm looking at this, like looking at the code, I can easily identify that, okay, at this point I am connected to with the database. So that is the only reason that I am creating this function and exporting it. You can easily just create a connection and write that in this file. Okay. And there is few functions like use new URI parser, true, use identify topology, true. This is something that they really, it's from the documentation. We will just console it. We'll just console log so that we get an idea that we have successfully connected with the database. Wait, it isn't showing me this? Really? And if we get any error by any chance, we will just log out the error. Oh, I forgot to add it. And we will also exit it. We will exit the application because this whole API works on the database connection, and if it isn't connecting with successfully, it shouldn't be online by any chance. So that is why I'm exiting it in this line. Okay, and we'll just import it in our index file. We will connect it to a database right at this point. db.get connection. So if we will go to the console log, we can see the message that it's successfully connected to the database. My database might have some. I was working in this in the past, so it might have some data already in it. which database I was using. Oh yeah, using this I am using this GUI application called Mongotron to connect with my database locally. First connect. I just removed all the data from the past. It's the one. Just drop database. Yes. Okay, and it should still work. That's all. So let's just start working on this script. We will just call create a folder called scripts. And it will be a create admin dot script js. So basically what we want to do is we will make a query to database and see if a user exists there, and if admin account is, if admin user does not exist in the database, then we will create it and use a default password. For that we will need to create a users database in the MongoDB. So that's what we'll do. A user folder, and we will need a schema and model. Oh. And we will do const user schema it should be new schema, I guess. Let me just double check. Yeah, we will be creating a new object schema. So a user will have a username which will be type of string, a minimum length of I guess 3 and max length of 12 characters. I'm just okay, let's go with 15, I guess. Yeah, according to the store names, I think 15 would be a better choice. And we also want to trim it so that we make sure that we remove spaces from from beginning and ending. We will also need it will be also unique. We don't want two users with the same user ID. And I had this regex in the past. Let's grab that. Okay, it should be this. And match the value with this regex. So basically this regex allows A to Z capital letters, small letters, 0 to 9 digits and underscore, because usually they like to use underscore instead of space. That's why I included that one. We can add a dot as well, but I think I'm just going to ignore it for now for this one. And the most important one would be it is required field. For password, So again, type string, true. I'm not gonna add any minimum length or maximum length values, because the thing is we are going to hash the password before we store it in our database. So because of that reason, we are going to ignore it to set it a limit, because I'm not sure how many exact characters will be there when it will be hashed. So that is the reason. Should I add email as well? I think I will just ignore it. It's working. Okay, I will just ignore the email for now, because they really don't need any emails, so that is the reason. And I will make sure that the timestamps true. So when I set the timestamp as true, so it will add a the MongoDB will automatically add created at and updated at columns, and I don't need to update those values because it will, like, it's an automatic thing. It's kind of a MongoDB feature, so that is really cool. Otherwise, in other database you might have to implement that feature in your backend server. So yeah, let me just export this schema as a model. We will the name database as user, and we will send user schema for the database. So here is what we are going to do in this script. Find admin and database. If does not exist, create one. If exist, log message. I think that's all the logic we really need. We will also need to hash the password. Make sure yeah. So what we can do, we'll just import this user model first. We'll just name it as user only. First we'll make a query. Find one. With username is admin. You know what, I will do different way. I'm gonna add admin username, because I think they want to change it eventually, and I don't want to create an account with an admin username. It's pretty easy to guess, right? So that is the main reason. We'll just do admin username. And we will do the same for password. For now we will just use as admin in development environment, but I will make sure that I will change it in the future. Password, I will just do this. Just random characters. Okay. Then we will execute this function, and we will also store this value in call admin user. Okay, so if admin, if we do find an admin account, then we'll just console.log admin account already. Else we will create a new user. So let's just create a new user. Oh, it should be like this: new user. Username will be from environment variables. We still need to make some changes. For example, I don't want to use the same I don't want to pass the use password without hashing it, so we will need to create we will need to just hash this password before we enter in the database. So for that I will just create a lib folder which will contain all different basic libraries or scripts that we will be using throughout this application. For encryption we will use the Backend. It's a library. It's been out for a while now. I have used it in the past and it was a pretty good experience, so that's why I have been using it for almost my every project. Just install it. Okay. Okay, so it's installed now. Let's go to the file. We'll just import a hash function from this library. And we will create a function called hash password, which will take a input of password, which will be, I think, just a string, and we'll just hash it before making changes. So okay, so a hash function use, first of all, it will take a value which we are getting from the function parameters, and it will need a number for salt rounds. So basically it means that how many times you want to do a encryption. For example, if you set it 10, it will try to encrypt it 10 times. The higher the number is, the more time it will take to encrypt it, because if you are doing it for, I think, 20, it will go to the 20 times, and it will, yeah, encrypt it for 20 times. It is more secure, but it has it comes with the problem a time, so you don't want your user to wait for 10 seconds just to log in. So that is the main just to for sign up or login. So that is the reason that usually they keep it from 10 to 15. If you have a better hardware, then you can go with high encryption, but for most of the time, it is good to just go with 10 or 15. That's what I will do. Again, I will use a environment variable for this. And I will also make sure that it is a number. Otherwise, if it doesn't exist, then it will by default use 10. Okay. Then once it hashes the password, I will create a function called I think I will be returning this promise rather than, what should I do? I think I will just remove this file for now, because because right now this function will be just this. It doesn't make sense to write a function for this. Okay, yeah, for now I will just export this hash function, and for where we will be working on login route, I will add a function called check hash, I guess, something like that, and I will just write that code here, I guess. Yeah, let's just keep it this way. Password. Let's import that file here. Script.hash password. We will pass value of this, and then let's some async function. We will be getting a user from data. We will get a hashed password. With that, we will create a new user. What am I doing? Okay, yeah, that worked. And we will use this hashed password. Between user dot save. At this point, we have saved a user in database, and I will just make a console log statement that successfully created admin account. Or if we get an error, I will just throw it. we will log out the error and we will exit the application. I will do the same when we get any error from hashing the password. It should be like that. So at this point it should create a admin account whenever application starts. If a user with admin username doesn't exist, I think it won't work because we might change it. Let me just go with this. And do I have, yeah, so let's just import this file. Let me just stop this server and I just want to make sure that it creates it. It creates the admin account properly. So I will import that file. Okay. I think I will need to import that around here because at this point we will have a connection to the database, and once we have that connection, well, after that we can make a database query that if admin account exists or not. So this tool require it should be in script and create admin script. So currently we shouldn't have any database in our shopping manager. Okay, there is, it shouldn't be though. Okay, this is the old one. Database, yes. So let's just run this application and it should create that admin account. Is there a way I can refresh it? Shopping manager, users, and did not return any results. Let's make sure we are importing it properly. If admin user, then skip integrating things. We should at least get this message. Let me just do the log here. No, it isn't working. I am importing the application here. Do I need to export it as a function? Oh, okay. So the thing is, it is trying to connect it before our database connects to the server. Okay, I see. What's the issue here? Just remove this. Index. Where is this DB file? Let me remove. Let me just make it a way that this create admin script is working. I won't be calling any function in the index file. I will just importing that at the top. And so we are connecting to the database at this point, so it should work now. Okay, it's still trying to connect to the database before it shouldn't, because we are importing it at this point. Okay, let me just do it this way. Why does it says that admin account already exists? It shouldn't be. Let me just find that wait express app. Okay. Okay, yeah, we can use this events in the Express application. So we will fire this. Okay, we will change it the way it was for this DB script. And I will change it in the index file as well. But at this time I will pass the app instance. We will get this in the app instance here, and dot emit a event called data db connector, and I will subscribe to that event here. Add on db connected. We will import this file. It should resolve our issue. Okay. Why does it says that admin account already exists? Does it? Okay, let me just console out this admin user. Constant admin user. Oh, should be console log. Oh, it's pending. I see. we should await it for a while. So we can do something like first it will be null, and we can just do this and this. Await. We can just do, we can make this function async. Oh, should be like this. Why does it fail? Oh, should be password. So yeah, it is working, I guess. Yeah, successfully created an admin account. Yay, it's working. So let's just make sure that it has been created in the database. And here it is, admin, and password is #1. So that is really cool. So we have accomplished this section in this project. So the idea behind the script is, so whenever, like in the future when we'll deploy this application, it will create an admin account if it doesn't exist in the database. So for example, if we have made any changes and we are deploying it to the production again, at that time admin account will already be there in the database. So at that time it will not create a new one, right? So that was the whole concept. And another thing was, in this project, owner wants to create account for different stores, so we didn't create a sign up route for this project, so that it's basically a security. So it's not like anyone with the link can sign up to that application. It's private, it's internal application. So that is the main reason why I went with this concept. I think I'm gonna end this stream at this. I think it's already I have been streaming for 1 hour and 16 minutes now, so I'm gonna end it right here. In the next stream I will start working on login and sign up routes, login and logout routes, and then we'll start working on products and all of the stuffs. So that's all for now. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comment box. If you have any suggestion or anything, just comment it in the comment box. I appreciate your effort. So I think I'm gonna leave it now. So I will soon do another stream on this project. I will also keep working on those code katas in the future. So see you soon.